thank you for joining us, Anders Bodin. I've been following you for a long time, and it's an honor for me to talk to you right now. So thank you for joining us, as I say. Tell me, how did you get into Status Quo?
Well, I think Status Quo has always been there in some way. When I was a little child, I had older brothers that listened to Status Quo, especially Mikael, or Michael in English. He had many records with the Status, and he had posters on his wall. And I think I was very fascinated about the image, the rock image, with the long hair and the jeans outfit, and the rock posters on stage, with Rossi Parfitt Lancaster standing close to each other in front of Coglan's drums. That was amazing. And I still think those old pictures are amazing to look at. So Status Quo has always been there, and I have followed them since. I think I got my first record when I was 11 at my birthday. I think it was the 1982 album I got. That was my first own LP, yes. And then I got Back to Back for Christmas later that year. And since then I have bought almost every albums, but not everyone. A few of the latest one I haven't bought.
I see.
So Quo has always been there. Yeah.
Have you seen the band live?
Yes, I've seen maybe 40 times, maybe more. And the first time was in 1984 at the end of the road tour. I lived up in the middle of Sweden, and I took the train 60 Swedish miles or 600 kilometers. The night train down to Stockholm, and I met my brothers, and we went to see them at the Ice Stadium, or E-Stadion in Swedish. And it was amazing, of course, for an 11-year-old kid. But it was sad in some way too, because that was it. They were supposed to stop touring. But next year they were back with Live Aid, and and have been back since then.
Did you watch Live Aid?
Yes, I watched Live Aid.
Mm-hmm.
I was in front of the TV, and it was a very, very big thing for me. It was, well, now they are back again. They are back. It was some kind of a dream almost.
Mm-hmm.
That came true.
Well, you've managed to fulfill many dreams, haven't you? Because you are a musician. Tell me how you got your start in music.
My start in music, well, it was back up in the middle of Sweden, in a small town called Hallen, in the area of Jämtland in Sweden. And as all the kids at the time, you had to start to play the flute when you were 8 years old. So I started to play the flute. And and the next year, when I was 9 years old, I started to play the piano. And when I was 10, I had the opportunity to start to play the guitar. And I started to play the guitar, and I have continued since then. And quite early, I started to write my own songs, and started my first band with some classmates when I was about 10, 11 years old. And we played some Quo and some Slade, I remember, and a few own songs too. So yes, I have written songs since then, and still write songs. Yeah.
And you've released several albums as well. How did you come to start recording?
You mean with the first album?
Yes.
Well, I had a lot of songs, a lot of demos, and then I thought that, well, I have to do something with this. I can't just sit here at home and write demos. So I talked to my brother-in-law, Lars Ekberg, and he's a professional musician and has a studio, and talked to him, and he could help me. So through him, I got into contact with some very good musicians on drums, bass. Then came the Hall of Flames album in 2006.
Yeah.
And at the time, I called myself for Anders Bodin for the first album, but later on changed it to Bodinrocker. That is a nickname from the beginning.
Where does the inspiration, because it can't just be Status Quo, what are the other inspirations that go into your music?
Yeah. Well, Status Quo is a big part of the inspiration that you can hear in my music, but I also another hero for me is Neil Young. I really like his playing style, both the acoustic style and the more rocky style with screaming guitars. So I think you can hear some Neil Young somewhere in my music too. And my music can be very catchy also. So I think you can. Another influence might be Beatles or Beach Boys.
Yeah.
I think because it's often very melodic melodies and very melodic solos. I think that my playing style is a little bit both of Ross and Parfit in a way. I think my solo playing is very influenced by Rossi with his melodic soloing, and with Parfit with his hard-hitting rhythm style. I think I have some of that too when I play the rhythm guitars, rhythm bits.
When you go into the boogie style, you do certainly have some of that feel in there.
Yeah.
How long did it take you? How long did it take you to perfect that feel?
Well, to play Status Quo influenced music isn't easy, as you may know. It's on the paper theory. It's easy, but you have to have the right feel, and I think you have to listen to that kind of music a lot. And I have listened to Status Quo very, very much. In some way, I have it in my blood, and yeah, it's very hard. I know there's very many bassmen, the bass guitarists, that has problem with playing the Quo shuffle in the right way. It's going to sound like this.
Yeah.
But sometimes it sounds like or like a marching.
Mm-hmm.
But it should sound like
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Yes, there is something of a I think Rossi calls it a staccato in the playing style.
Yeah.
Your records have a real sort of good feeling about them. How many layers of guitars are you putting into that? And by your reaction there, I can tell it's probably a few.
Yes, it depends. Some songs have very many guitar layers, and other songs don't have that many. But it often has maybe 3 rhythm guitars anyway, and then some solo bits. And sometimes I dub. Do you say dub? The solo bits. Play it twice.
Yeah.
Dubbing.
It's like
I think
double
on my
tracking,
forthcoming albums there are 1 or 2 songs that only have 1 electric guitar anyway. So it's maybe some songs have a little bit more air in it. sometimes it can get very massive, the sound, when there are so many guitars.
Do you find that a song takes on a whole new life when you play it in a live setting with a band?
Yes, I think so. My Bodinrocker music is live music. It's supposed to be played live, and sometimes could be hard to have the energy that you have live on the record. That could be a problem sometimes, because it can be hard to keep the energy, and I think the music might sound harder on stage than sometimes on record. And maybe it's the same for Status Quo on their later albums.
I think so. You are working on or due to release a new album for early next year.
Yes.
How is that going? What was the process?
The process is going great. The music is mastered and finished and ready for pressing. So right now I'm sort of planning for the release that will be early next year. We have to do the cover artwork, and there will be a CD and digital release, of course. But the music is finished, and that's a good feeling. And I think it might be the most Quo influenced record so far, I think. But there are some 2 or 3 songs that are a little bit different too. So I think anyway it's quite a diverse album, but it's quite Quo-ish, I must say.
Well, you mentioned the Quo influence in there. What era of Status Quo are you sort of most influenced by?
Well, I like the Frantic Four era most, of course, much because of the image, of course, the music or the albums, but the image with the long hair and the rock image that, as I talked about before. But I like all eras in some sense too, but the Frantic Four era is what I like most. But as I told you before, sometimes I want my music to sound like, in a sort of way, a little bit harder. But when you go to the studio and record it, in the end, it ends up a little bit lighter than it's supposed to be. But it's difficult to have the right sound also. If you know what I mean. It's the same problem with Status Quo, I feel, with their later albums.
Where they've got an idea and they take it to the studio and it ends up coming out sort of lighter than perhaps anticipated.
Yes. Maybe it's at the modern studio equipments and things like that, maybe. But also my music is very catchy sometimes, very melodic. And my voice is quite soft too. It's not Ron James Dio or David Coverdale or so. And that, if I had it sound like Bon Scott, maybe the music had it sounded harder too, maybe. But that's me. That's how I sound.
I personally love the singing style. I find it really appealing and, like you say, catchy. You get into the tune and it matches with that boogie extremely well. And of course, as you say, you go into lighter territory. Sometimes you go off on other things. So it's adaptable.
Yes. I have released 2 singles so far from the forthcoming album. Rock and Roll Star, I released 1 year ago, and that one is really, really catchy. And the latest single, Special Blend, will also be the title of the forthcoming album. That might be a little bit harder and more groovy. And I used to say that could be a modern version of a Michael's Greasy Spoon track with the guitar bits or so. but a modern version
Yeah.
also again.
Have you got any plans for beyond the album release?
Well, I want to go out and play.
Yeah.
There will be some kind of a release concert to celebrate the album, and then I do want to go out and play again. I haven't played live for a while, and that's mostly because of I have lived family life with small children, and I haven't had the time to go out to play live. And I have focused on the new recordings for the forthcoming album.
Yeah.
But now the recordings are finished, so I hope to be able to go out play some live. And Bodinrocker is it's a solo project by me, Anders Bodin, but I have a band that is backing me up. But the members of the band can change during time also. But Bodinrocker, it's me.
Well, let's bring this to a close. And normally what I ask is if you could recommend one Quo album to listen to, which one would it be? Which is your favorite?
There are so many good Quo albums, but I usually say On the Level if I have to say one. I really like that one. It's great songs, good melodies, good solo playing from Rossi. A lot of energy, good sound. So On the Level.
Awesome. Well, Bodinrocker has a website. I'll put the link in the description below. Your album Special Blend, that's coming out in early 26. I look forward to hearing what you've been working on. And I do recommend for Quo fans and rock fans in general to go and check out your music, because I always find it really uplifting. Vacation, Got No Time, Foreign Land, just a real smattering of all of these tracks are certainly on my playlist on a regular basis. Thank you, Anders, for being on the podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie, that you wanted to talk to me. Thank you.